Hello, our friends, Evolutionary Energy Arts family.
Welcome back.
Um, just wanted to share, like, Cindy and I have both felt like tremendous energies coming in today. Tremendous. Almost to the point where you can't do much. You can either go into a meditative state, take a nap, what have you. Also have felt waves of, well, the feeling that things are really, kicking off. They're really kicking off, getting that message. And so you recently got another message. So you could see what we got up on this screen right here. So we're going to call that ML, just so you know, or M law, because we feel that that's, it's right about here. And there's a lot going on. The other thing that's going on right now is galactic energies. And, this is why everything else is happening. This is why everything else is happening. Because for those of you that, I know there was somebody saying, what's ascension energies in the comments. And so there's new people coming in. Ascension is the rising of vibrations and frequency. And as we've said so many times in videos, between this and evolutionary energy arts, we are over 3,000 videos that we've done in about 3.5 years' time, and tens of millions of views, of which we know many, many more views have actually been viewed than have been showed. We've talked about ascension, and so really it's all about this time. Back in the 80s, just to give a quick recap, there was what was called the Galactic convergence, going on, a harmonic convergence. And we were, according to some, entering a place called the photon belt, which is just basically an area of the galaxy with higher charged energies, which were going to allow us to recover what we've lost. Because we used to have a much higher form of consciousness than we do now.
Oh, yeah, much higher. And we were a much better being. We were very well equipped to deal with the things going on today. And this is something that they've tried to stop it with us all these years. There was papers that came out through the CIA that were disclosed, and it explained how that humankind, their energies were going to rise up, and how are we going to keep them down, keep their consciousness down, to keep them under control.
Because when it comes down to it, there's been forces that have been using humanity. And we could go back to these Sumerian scrolls, which talks about these Anunnaki beings, these quote-unquote gods that really aren't gods, just beings, that created humanity as a slave race for themselves. But that doesn't really feel true to me. I think that what they did was they changed us as far as lowering frequency and vibration to keep us in a lockdown area. We see the second chromosome is fused in humans. There's evidence of genetic tampering with humanity. And we have biblical reference to, God not going to strive with us anymore, so man's days will be no more than 120 at most. Well, when we look to the books and the writings of the people of the Indus Valley, there's different yugas, which yuga is an age, and in different yugas, humanity lives different lengths. And we've been coming out of the dark age, where 100 years is about the max you could expect to get to, and going into a newer age. Basically we could look at, we're going from an iron age into a bronze, into a silver, into a gold. And in the Bronze Age, humanity could live 1,000 years. And there's the biblical references to Methuselah, 969 years among many other quote-unquote patriarchs. Sumerian kings lists show people, beings, albeit they may be hybrid beings, ruling for tens of thousands of years. But when we go to the Silver Age, mankind can live 10,000 years, and when you go to the Golden Age, mankind can live 100,000 years. And so, again, it's all about where we are in the bigger cycle and the precession of the equinoxes and the areas that we're going through in space, the energies around that. We talked about Peter Dunov, who was a psychic, a mystic, a healer, a musician, really interesting guy that we've actually made contact with on the other side and has become like a spirit guide for us as well. And he was saying that we have been in this area of darkness where horrible things happened, horrible tragedies, wars, dark energies have been in control of this area. Well, we're just leaving this area now. And also at the same time, there's going to be a galactic superwave that comes and will be what is talked about in 1 Corinthians, that we may not all die, but we will all be changed. And then we know from Tesla and from Einstein and Max Planck and other brilliant scientists of the last 120 years or so, everything is energy. Energy can't be destroyed. It can only change forms. And when Tesla was asked about the secrets of the universe, he said, well, if you want to know the secrets of the universe, think in terms of energy, frequency, and vibration, because that's what it's all about.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, we had a pretty rough day today. I was like so dizzy all day long, and I really feel like that's trying to merge with the higher self, just something, it's a knowing inside of me is the vibration is going up, and you guys might be feeling dizzy, exhausted, maybe a bit moody, having to face things that you don't want to face and let go of things that you might not feel comfortable letting go of. But this is all part of it. This is all part of the ascension, and it's kind of like removing a sticky Band-Aid.
It could be painful. And so what she got from the Galactics right now is that, these next 3 days, we are getting bombarded with energies right now. Tremendously transformative energies. And this is why you see the programs out there to interfere with the natural process of things. Because what's going to happen is that these beings that have been using us in so many ways, we're going to go out of their reach. They're not going to be able to hold on to us anymore. What are they going to do? They're going to try to lower our vibrations so they could keep control of us. They don't want to lose their food source of sorts, loosh. They don't want to lose their worker bees in so many ways. And they will. If things go along naturally, they're going to lose most people. But that's why they have this whole program in place to lock us down emotionally and vibrationally, spiritual lockdowns. So that's what's really going on here. So for the next 3 days, take it easy. Take it easy. Stay positive. Meditate as much as you can. Do mantras if you feel so inclined, affirmations, prayer, engage in music, anything that's going to pull your energies up, and just kind of chill as much as you can.
Yeah, the word they gave me was relax. Relax, relax, relax as much as possible. This is going to allow for the upgrades to come into you, and, then you're going to be able to make the most of the upgrades.
Yeah, and we say upgrades like you're getting a new download, like a new computer program, which when you study DNA is very much what it is like. And it can accept a new program. And we can defrag and debug ourselves. And, that's really important for us to constantly be doing that, as they constantly are bombarding us with all the lower vibrational frequencies of control, fear, anger, mistrust. We need to constantly be working on expunging those energies, constantly letting them go. So, it's of such importance right now, especially with the news that you're going to be getting over the next few days, because things are moving very, very fast now on that end. And so also what we have gotten is that, we've talked about different treaties, different agreements of a galactic nature that are supposed to be in place, because these higher beings want humanity to come out in the open, They want the leadership of the world to say exactly what reality is, that we're not alone, and no, they're not all fallen angels. There are demonic energies out there for sure, but there's also benevolent ones, and there's ones very much like you and I, just perhaps a little bit more advanced technologically and in some cases spiritually. They want us to know the bigger picture so we can rejoin the bigger world out there, so to speak. They are nudging the powers that be in this country. They're nudging them, and if they don't move, at a certain pace and everything, then they show on their own signs and wonders in the sky.
That's right. They'll just start doing it on their own, and the powers that be, I don't feel that they want that, because then they would lose all control. They want to at least have some control over the narrative.
Well, because they've had us thinking that we're alone. They've had us, thinking that they're the only ones with all the answers. So that's how they've maintained total control. And they've done it politically. They've also done it through our religions by just, again, confirming this. Oh, no, we're alone. This is us. We have to take care of ourselves. There's nobody else out there that could show us a better way. Or enlighten us as to new technologies and stuff. And of course, they have so much new technology that they don't show us. They don't want to play their hand. But again, there's a much bigger picture going on here. So there's a lot of stuff coming out right now. That is going to be coming down the line. So we talked about this first event being perhaps declared, which more than likely, when that comes, which could be any moment, for sure, any moment, any hour, any day, but probably not very long when you get down to it. It will more than likely be in particular areas. And so if I give you guys initials, you could probably figure out those areas, because there are also areas where there's been some controversy of sorts, such as MI, WI, PA, GA, and probably AZ as well. And there's a much bigger picture going on here. And the thing is that there is free will in play. Don't ever underestimate that. And I think people have it, they don't understand the power of consciousness in all of us when they think something's fixed, totally fixed, and it has to go a certain way because a certain line of thinking, a certain book says so. For instance, the Casey prophecies look like they're taking place now, but many of them are 40, 50 years overdue. But, that could be also because of free will and because of consciousness progressing.
Yeah, there's so many variables that are coming into play right now, and it's like everything is reaching a certain precipice, and it's very exciting. And isn't it curious how all of these things are going on around us externally, when all of our energies that we're supposed to be getting will come in easier and better if we're relaxed. So that's why we're telling you guys, it's so important. Take good care of yourself. These next 3 days, super critical.
And we were talking about that largest cyber attack that's ongoing ever, and what that means, because it literally does mean that certain entities, and they might not be exactly the ones that we think, but they have access to, like we were saying, that Pat Travers song, boom, boom, out go the lights. And the lights, may be going out, because that could be also something that will cause panic, frustration, fear, especially in a time when big things are going down, and the not having the ability to see what's going on. So this is out of Business Insider. By the way, there's a bill that could kick certain companies of a certain nation off the stock exchanges as well. So when I saw this, it got me thinking about this EO, that came in 2018, and has to do with countries that are not of the U.S., perhaps meddling in some ways with the natural due process of how this country usually does things. So there is something that had to happen in a certain time frame, and sources are saying that that just happened. And, that's highlighted right there. And I knew today was day number, as you see, 4 or 5 after the conclusion, sort of the process. And again, wording very carefully. So the word out there is that this particular thing happened today. So that means that more balls can be rolling, more bowling balls going down the lane, so to speak, to knock over more pins.
Exactly, and we do appreciate you guys following along as we are cryptic. We're just trying to get the information out as it comes in without getting everything shut down. So we really appreciate your guys' patience and your understanding and everything that you guys have been doing. This is a very difficult time for everybody.
So, there are a lot of people out there, and there's people that you probably are very, very aware of that have been helping with disclosure. And the thing is, a lot of these people are doing this under extreme difficulty and duress, because there are powers that monitor every word that's said, every single word that's said. And so often they are forced to maybe put a slightly different slant to keep you from knowing exactly what's going on, but still at the same time kind of fulfilling their mission. And this even goes all the way up into the highest of the elective officials, as well. So there's pressure being put on from both directions that are, not necessarily Homo sapiens sapiens. Homo sapiens are feeling the pressure from entities on both sides of this spectrum we could view it as the light and the dark.
Yeah, I mean, so it does get complicated. It does get messy. But nonetheless, things are unfolding and they're happening now.
They are happening now. They are happening. And so, we still may have a little bit of a go, but just, again, it's time to be as prepared as possible, because this is, if you're not prepared right now to shelter in place, just think of this as a major storm coming, in which you may have to shelter in place, maybe for 2 weeks, maybe for a month. The government said 6 months. So we need to take this seriously as well. It's a very interesting time, and it looks like it's about blast off time, so to speak. If we've been watching the countdown, the rockets are igniting.
Yes, and it's very important. Don't panic. Don't go into any tizzy. Don't do none of that. Just go with the flow. Everything's going to be fine. We're getting our upgrades. We're getting in good energies. It's just things are going to change. They're going to be different, and it's going to be okay.
It is. So, guys, I want to thank everybody again for being part of the family. Make sure you're subscribed and have the bell clicked. We want to also thank everybody for your support on Patreon and Ko-Fi. If you need to reach out to us and have a session of any sort, EEARTS at Proton Mail or evolutionaryenergyarts@gmail.com to get a hold of us. And thanks for your patience. As always, guys, be prepared. God bless, and namaste.
Namaste.